Welcome to the Bodyguard podcast, where science meets natural healing to uncover the root causes of complex health issues. Your host, Christine Barnes, is a leading complex case health practitioner specializing in functional testing and personalized care. This show dives deep into clinical analysis, cutting-edge diagnostics, natural therapies, and holistic strategies to optimize your health and well-being. Your health is unique. Your healing should be too.
Hi everyone, Christine Barnes here. I'm a clinician focused on root cause healing, generally in complex cases, but sometimes I have the opportunity to work with people that are what most people might consider fitness fanatics or athletes. And I want to just bring up a topic that is a little bit controversial. Most people see somebody that is super fit and think that means they're healthy, and it's not always the case. Being able to run a marathon doesn't guarantee that your body is thriving underneath, and I frequently see this. Unfortunately, most of the time, I only come across these cases when the wheels start falling off. There may be a new diagnosis or a test result that comes back that doesn't look right, and that's usually when I'm involved. But often, people aren't realizing that even though they may have a six-pack, it doesn't mean the gut health is optimal, nor that the hormones are well balanced. Not even our heart necessarily is working at its best. Let's talk about why fitness doesn't always equal health and the hidden dangers, especially for athletes and high performers. Most of these people think they're fine. Now, I also come across this in the naturopathic world and the nutritional world, where people are exercising, eating well, all of that, and often they think that that protects them from illness. And they look great on the outside, and you see this on Instagram and Facebook where people look fabulous and they're telling you, oh, their almond milk is better than cow's milk or whatever message somebody is advertising. Doesn't mean that person is unwell. And occasionally we see this where we're really shocked that some fitness Instagram person has died or celebrity health person has suddenly got an onset of an illness, and we generally go into shock. So, fitness versus health, what's the difference? Fitness is about physical capability, how fast you can run, how much you can lift weight-wise, how long you can push yourself. Health is about your system's functionality, especially how the systems are functioning when you're not forcing them. It's about how your gut absorbs nutrients, how your immune system regulates, how your mitochondria produces energy, how your brain handles stress, and how it repairs itself. You can absolutely be fit and internally inflamed, malnourished, and metabolically stressed. Fitness is performance under demand. Health is resilience when we're at rest. Now, please don't misunderstand me. Don't get me wrong. Fitness, movement, all very important. I'm, mindful of that. I'm in my, coming up to my mid-60s, and more than ever, I've found the more I move, the better I am. But why the lack of symptoms can be deceptive? Many athletes and high performers assume if I don't have symptoms, I'm healthy. But here's the reality. The body compensates long before it crashes. The absence of symptoms isn't the presence of health. And I see this frequently. It's a common thing for my patients to present and go, I've just got this one issue going on. Otherwise, I'm healthy because I just don't get sick. And that's actually misleading. We're designed for our immune system to address the ongoing onslaught of viruses and bacteria. So if we're never even mildly unwell, it means our immune system might be asleep. By the time you feel something, dysfunction has often been there for years. And this is, again, we're often shocked. We go, oh, that was sudden, but often there were signs and indicators. And when you're highly trained, you're conditioned. You've conditioned your body to override these warning signals, often until it's too late. There is a hidden risk for the fit but unchecked. I want to break it down to some real risks that show up even in top athletes. These are things that not just me, but other clinicians report finding in people that are exercising at a relatively high level. And let's face it, a lot of people are these days. You don't have to be a competitive athlete to actually be training at a high level. So these are some of the risk factors, if left untreated, can lead us down a negative path health-wise. So we can have high cholesterol or early atherosclerosis. Despite looking lean, we often imagine it's only the person that's carrying excess weight that has these problems. But no, you can actually be quite fit and lean and still have high cholesterol. Severe nutrient deficiencies. Electrolytes can be low. Magnesium, zinc, B vitamins. Often when we're doing a high-performance exercise, if we're not also monitoring our nutrients, and if we started behind the 8 ball to begin with, sometimes these nutrient deficiencies can go on and become a chronic problem that then produces other more concerning health outcomes. Hypothalamic dysfunction. So this is the hormone axis related to burnout. Can lead to thyroid issues, cortisol management or dysfunction issues, and even affect our sex hormones and the balance within. Gut dysbiosis and leaky gut. Now, this can develop from repetitive high-intensity training stress. Now, training, lifting weights, most exercise is designed to cause a healthy style of stress, but sometimes when it's repetitive and high intensity, it can produce negative results in our gut health. Undiagnosed anemia. This is more common than we think, especially in endurance athletes. There's also silent cardiovascular risks, blood vessel damage by oxidative stress, but also if we deplete not at a deficiency level that produces strong symptoms, but long-term low levels of certain nutrients can place our blood vessels in a state where they're compromised and they're not as healthy, not as strong. We can have early signs of insulin resistance, even with a normal BMI. We can have chronic low-grade inflammation, and we can blame it on, I just overtrained yesterday. That was a little slight injury. But we can develop chronic systemic low-grade inflammation, and that impairs our recovery and negatively affects our aging, meaning we age faster. So training without recovery, fueling without absorbing, this is for the people that may have a perfect-looking diet but aren't absorbing that wonderful diet, pushing performance while metabolic reserves crumble behind the scenes. These are all aspects that can develop with people that are at an athletic level. I once had a triathlete client who came in for a general check, not one symptom. There were a couple of mild things that, that person wasn't particularly worried about. I did a full workup. We found low ferritin levels. The kidneys were under strain. Severe gut microbiome depletion. Pre-diabetic fasting insulin levels, even though they were exercising at this high-level athlete range, and early markers for arterial inflammation. This woman was running half marathons monthly. She never felt sick because she conditioned herself to push through. Now, this can lead to, especially that pushing yourself through, can lead to much more sinister scenarios where we can end up with burnout conditions. And unfortunately, this story, this picture isn't that rare. It's becoming more and more common. I even see this sort of status in busy parents, where they're eating well but not absorbing. They're exercising and doing a lot of running around with kids, and they're very busy in the family calendar, but they don't have time to have rest days, not just for their nervous system, but their physical body as well. And, ongoing stress. So what should you be checking regularly? If you're an active person or just someone who feels fine but hasn't had a full health audit lately, I'm just going to run through a bit of a generalized health check. This is not targeted, and as many of you know, I like to really personalize what testing we're doing based on your presentation, your health history, and many other aspects of your history that I like to collect before we decide on what testing is a priority. So this is just a generalized idea. So a comprehensive metabolic panel. That's definitely helpful. A lipid panel. So this is about the fats. So not just your total cholesterol, because that can be misleading. So an advanced lipid panel. So we're devil's in the detail. We want an inflammation marker called high sensitivity CRP. Now, you can come back with that inflammation marker being low, but it doesn't mean you're not inflamed. But it's just our first check-in. I highly recommend fasting insulin and HbA1c, not just blood sugar. We want a full thyroid panel, not just the thyroid stimulating hormone or TSH, including antibodies. A full iron panel, including ferritin levels. Micronutrient testing, and there's a few different ways that we can do this, and I like to do a urine test plus a hair test for micronutrients. Gut microbiome mapping, not just a SIBO test, but full diversity, so we know what pathogens are, what diversity is, and levels and diversity of your beneficial bacteria. Cortisol rhythm mapping, so not just a single cortisol snapshot, but a full panel. Because blood pressure and resting heart rate alone won't catch what matters and won't catch it early enough. Fitness is awesome, and I'm so pleased so many more people now are moving. Movement is medicine in itself, but don't confuse physical ability with internal resilience. True health can be invisible until you stress it or reach a tipping point. So if you're crushing your workouts, but you've never really checked what's happening under the hood, now's the time. You don't want to wait until something forces you to take care. Honour your body, check your systems as we would our car. Train smarter and live well longer. Being fit is impressive. Being healthy is essential. And you deserve both.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Bodyguard podcast. We hope you found valuable insights to help you take control of your health journey. Want to dive deeper? Visit thebodyguard.com.au to learn more about our work, explore resources, and discover how personalised care can transform your well-being. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to share it with others on social media. Your support helps us reach more people looking for answers. Until next time, take care and keep prioritising your health. because your healing should be as unique as you are. Please note the information in this podcast is for educational purposes only and not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. The Bodyguard accepts no liability for any loss or damage arising from the use of this content. Always consult a healthcare professional.